Hi everybody, Miss Wood here with the directions on how to apply to VJAS this year. So in this video, we're going to do a quick overview of the paper format preparation. Get your documents ready. We will go over the application instructions, how to submit your paper, and the application fee instructions if they apply to you. All right, paper preparation. So I'm here going to give you some tips. These are my recommendations. Again, in the VJAS handbook, there are way more options. So if you don't like these options, you can check out the VJAS handbook. For example, if you don't like the font that I've suggested or the spacing, check out the handbook for more options. But here are my quick recommendations if you're looking for a quick list. I recommend 12-point font and Times New Roman because it's just easy to tell if it's the right size. I recommend double-spaced. 1-inch margins. Check your paper for names, all right? There shouldn't be any names on your paper. Remember, you're submitting this paper anonymously to be judged. No title should be on this paper. No extra space, so no page breaks, no blank pages. Your footer of the pages needs to be numbered, all right? And the first page should be the abstract. The headings, again, these are my recommendations. I recommend them to be bolded and underlined so you can't miss them. Your headings should be the abstract, introduction, methods and materials, results, discussion, conclusion, and literature cited. Also, there's an optional appendix section that you may add if you want to include extra photos, charts, data, etc. But remember, there is a 14-page maximum. That is a hard rule, so you cannot exceed 14 pages. All right, so right now, before we start the application, you need to get your documents ready. So you're going to need to prepare 2 PDFs. The first PDF you're going to need is the full paper, so what I outlined on that last slide, all of the sections, etc. So you're going to need to save that as a PDF. The other document that you're going to need to prepare is just the abstract, so single page of just the abstract. And then I recommend that you save these 2 documents in a really accessible location like your desktop because you're going to need to access them in a few minutes in the application. Okay, so now we're going to head to the application. I'm going to start off with a few tips and tricks before we get into the brand new portal. So tips and tricks. First thing, most important, get this done early. Do not wait until the last minute. I recommend that you get this done at least 48 to 24 hours before the deadline because if you run into a problem, you might run out of time. Also, other tip, make sure that you save before you leave a page or you go into a different tab. Let's say you need to look up the title of your project. You need to copy and paste it from another page. If you go to that other tab in your browser, you might lose all the information that you've input. So make sure you save frequently. All right, other tip, if you are trying to move forward in the application, let's say you're pressing the next button and it's not letting you go forward. You're going to need to scroll all the way up to the top of that screen and see if you've got an error message, like here's an example of one right here. So make sure you scroll all the way up to check for error messages. All right, you may run into some technical problems, some glitches. They happen. This is a brand new way to submit to VJAS. Please, I recommend, again, that you get this done early so you can try, waiting 24 hours for your account to clear or to reset. So that's an option. Or you can also email the support email address at reviewer.com. All right, so we are going to go ahead and get into the online portal. So I'm going to go to VJAS.org. There you go. So VJAS.org is going to take me to the VJAS site. And on the site, you can see there's an online submission tab at the top. So I'm going to click on that. And then here, there is a link to the online submission site. So I'm going to click that. And it's going to take me to this page. Our submission site is called Reviewer. And you're going to need to create an account to apply to VJAS. So you'll click Create an Account. So here you're going to need to put in a working email address. All right, so make sure this email can, receive email and that you can check it. For your password, I recommend that you use something like your student ID number or something that you're going to be able to remember. For your the latter fields, you're going to need to put in your first name and last name, and then you will click submit. So here is the first page that you're going to be brought to for your application. And if you are submitting your paper, you're trying to apply to VJAS, you're going to click this last option here. Check here if you're a student submitting. You're also then going to need to select your school from this menu. So I'm going to select my school. You should select yours. Then you'll click Next. Here we've got the demographic information, so you'll need to select your grade level. Are you in high school? Are you in middle school? And then you'll also need to select the category that your paper goes in. I definitely recommend you check the VJAS handbook, see where your science paper would fit best. Here, you're going to put your information for team member number 1. That's you. So put all of your information. Make sure you get all of those fields with the red star. You'll need to select your grade, stick your address in there. Again, this should be your address, your home address here. You're going to stick in your phone number, and you'll also need your parents' information. If you have a team member, let's say you have a partner in this project, you can select that down here, and you can provide all of their information. So if that applies to you, make sure you select your number of partners that you had. Then you'll click Next. All right, so here is where you're going to put the title of your paper. So you'll need to put that in here. You'll need to indicate if this is a continued project. You'll need to let us know how many times you have presented at VJAS before. And you'll also need to certify, you'll need to check this box that you have, followed all of the safety procedures and precautions, that you, followed all the rules of the VJAS handbook. All right, so moving on down, we are going to head to these certification statements. All of these need to be completed. All right, so you'll see that there are different categories. So vertebrate animal certification. If your project involved vertebrate animals, you're gonna select yes here. If yours had nothing to do with vertebrate animals, sorry guys, you're gonna need to select no. That wasn't involved in your project. Same deal with all of these categories. If it applies to you, you're gonna select yes. If not, please select no. For the human certification here, you'll see there are some options. Read through those options carefully. If your project had no humans, that's going to be a no. All right, again, more fields. Make sure you read those carefully. One to note here is the mentor and or research facility certification. If you select yes, so you did work with a mentor or a research facility, you'll notice that another field down here will pop up where you'll need to provide that mentor information that you worked with. But most of us are gonna select no for that. And then down here, really important one, we've got the general safety conduct certification. Everybody's got to certify yes that you completed your project in a safe manner. All right, you'll need to agree to this statement above here, and you'll need to get your name in there as well as the date. Moving on down, you can see here your school information will automatically be input here, but then there's also some fields for additional sponsors. So if your school has 2 VJAS sponsors, you'll want to put that other sponsor's contact info here. If you've only got 1 VJAS sponsor at your school, you can just repeat this information. You can just copy and paste it right in these fields. Then you're going to click Next. All right, so now it is time to get your papers submitted. So at the beginning of the video, I asked you to prepare 2 files, a file of your paper as well as an abstract. So here you're going to select Choose File to upload your abstract. From your computer, you will select that document. Remember, I recommend that it is a PDF. You'll need to do the same thing here with your paper. So you will select your paper from your computer files. Remember, I mentioned to save it on the desktop so it's easy to find. Now you're going to go ahead and click Submit. So then you're going to click OK. Then you're going to submit your form. You can see it might take a little bit, so please be patient. So for some of you, you'll just get a thank you message here if your school has already paid for your admission fee, for your application fee. If your school has not paid for it, then you individually will need to pay for that. So here you can see that it is a $15 fee, so you'll need to proceed to the checkout. And then you will be able to enter payment and pay now. That is the end of our VJAS submission instructions. Good luck, everyone, and hope to see you online for the 2021 symposium.